Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast Retro Life for You. My name is Chris Adams, host of the show. And although you can't see him to the right of me on the screen, is Mr. Travis Rollins. He's a little busy at the moment trying to get these birds out of here.
Yeah, clear them damn birds out. I'm over here shirtless with my Pepe Le Pew beard.
That's enough to scare everybody, including the birds.
That's right. We got to get them out of here for this damn wedding. Or I'm going to have to
Right.
deal with my wife, and I make it a point to never deal with my wife.
Oh, my goodness. Just to say what we're doing, and then we'll get our pleasantries out of the way here. But Steel Magnolias is what we're doing this week. It's a Mother's Day episode, everybody. Mother's Day
Yeah.
episode. Steel
Shout out
Magnolias.
to my mama, Diane Rollins.
And Miss Carolyn Sutton would be mine, although I doubt she is listening. But if she is, hey, mama.
Hey, mama.
Yeah. Steel Magnolias. I have never watched it before. I always thought it was one of them chick flicks or something I wouldn't like or something like that. And Travis,
I told you different.
Travis talked me into it. I just watched it this weekend, and I will say I was very entertained. It was very funny.
And it doesn't give you the chick flick feeling either, you know?
To me, it didn't. Not the whole movie, maybe a couple of parts of it, but not the whole movie.
Yeah.
So, a lot of star power in this movie, too, when it comes to women.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I was really surprised. I mean, there's several movies that make me think of each other it's just like, when we talked before about Princess Bride and Never Ending Story, and that takes you to Willow, which takes you to Labyrinth, which takes you to what was the Tom Cruise movie we just did? Legend, thank you. And then all these things. This one right here, Steel Magnolias. It reminds you of what? Fried green tomatoes, which reminds you maybe of Terms of Endearment.
Yeah, fried green tomatoes is the first one that comes to my mind. And in Terms of Endearment, I've never seen Terms of Endearment, which oddly enough is one of the ones that we were trying to pick out. We were trying to come up with a Mother's Day episode, so we were throwing movies out there, and there's not a lot to choose from.
Not big, big movie theater movies, at least anyway. There were some system TV things we could have went with.
This one's special to me, though, because I remember watching it with my mom when I was probably, 10, 11, 12 years old. And my mom loved it. And even at that age, there were funny parts of it to me.
Yeah. Yeah, and it fits in our wheelhouse. 1989, hour and 57 minutes long, rated PG. Director was Herbert Ross, writer Robert Harling. Don't know either one of them, but they did a great job for a movie.
Okay, so cool thing about Robert Harling. If he's the one that wrote, I'm cross-referencing I'm fact-checking myself here. The playwright Robert Harling wrote this in 1987, and it was based on his sister, Susan Harling Robinson, who I won't finish that sentence until later on. But yeah, they it's funny, there was a scene where they have to ask his mom to leave the set, and it's really cool. It took him 10 days to write this. It said this is quoted. It says, "The events that inspired it were so powerful that after I found the story arena, it just poured out into my typewriter in a 24/7 tsunami of southernness." So, and they're still doing this. They're still doing this play to this day. When I was looking this up the other day, I made my wife. Yeah, I made my wife watch it with me, and there was a casting call in Texas to cast this for a play.
Wow!
I was like, "What? That's so cool."
This movie was budgeted at $15 million estimated. I don't know if you get this in front of you or not, but do you know how much it grossed worldwide?
Oh man, how much? What was the budget?
Budget was $15 million.
Budget was $15 million. 80 million.
All right, so you're close. Opening weekend, U.S. and Canada, it made the weekend of November 9th, the week of November 19th, 1989, or weekend, I should say, It made $5,425,440. The gross U.S. and Canada was 84,614,512. The
Heck yeah.
gross worldwide was 96,759,512.
I was thinking that because I have to think that with the star power like you're talking about at the time that this was, I would think that a lot of ladies went to watch this.
I'm sure.
Because while
And
it's not a chick flick, it is totally a Southern woman's, like, women in general would love this movie.
I tell you, I mean, I can completely see this as well. I'm looking right here where I was looking where the runtime and what it made and everything was. Um, it tells you where it was filmed at too. And I mean, nothing screams other than Georgia. I could see Georgia being a place they could throw out there talking about, Southern Bells and stuff.
Yeah.
But the only other place I could think of that screams that kind of stuff to me, um, close by Georgia, would be South Carolina and Louisiana. Well, this was filmed in Louisiana.
Yeah. Well, it's set in
Jefferson
Louisiana too.
set in Louisiana. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was filmed right where it was set then. Now, for those people who don't know what this movie was about, and I was one of them because I just watched it this weekend, I'm gonna give you a
Hey,
little bit of a,
before you go on though, let me kick out a cool tidbit.
what's that?
So, not so big on the Vampire Diaries, but to show the originals, huge
Mhm.
on the originals. Originals is one of my favorite TV shows. But for the Vampire Diaries and the originals, and I think there was another show, um, a lot of that, the majority of it actually was filmed in a town in northeast Georgia, because when you go to South Carolina down around the coast, the southern coast around Beaufort, Charleston,
Mhm.
and stuff like that, and then
Right,
you get North Georgia, Savannah, and those places, they say everybody says that looks more Louisiana than Louisiana. Like when you think about the Spanish moss and the trees and the way the swamp looks and stuff, when you
right.
think about it, that actually looks more what you would picture in your mind than Louisiana does itself,
Wow,
which is crazy.
it is crazy. I mean, you would think Louisiana should take more pride in their state, right? Start looking more like yourself, Louisiana.
Yeah. Well, have you ever been there?
Yes, I've been in New Orleans.
Ugh, disappointing.
Went to New Orleans one time. We went there for 5 hours. We made a road trip for one day
Mhm.
from Panama City to, and it's a 5 hour drive to New Orleans from Panama City.
Yeah.
So we went there and we seen the big church cathedral there. Um, gosh, it was right there on the river. We saw part of the French Quarter and something else there. We didn't eat or anything, nothing big at least. We didn't
Yeah.
want to spend too much time because we didn't have a lot of time to do. So we planned on going back to it one day and just never did.
There's some cool places out there, but it's like I was highly disappointed.
Yeah, watch that hoodoo man.
That's what I was waiting on. I was wanting to walk in daggum, what was her name? Remy Laveau, whoever the lady is there on Bourbon Street. The witch, the famous witch's place.
Marie Laveau.
Marie Laveau's. Yeah. I was expecting to walk in there and some old lady with chicken bones be like, "Oh, we've been waiting for you." But nah, I walk in here and it's all commercial. It looked like Spencer's.
I imagine it is more commercialized. The street we walked up and down had a lot of people selling paintings and playing music and um, all kinds of things like that. But I mean, it wasn't.
Yeah,
I don't know. It just didn't.
Don't go to Bourbon Street during the daytime. Trust me.
That's what I'm saying. It didn't have that kind of great feel for something that I had heard about. So there was Bourbon Street. There was the French Quarter. There was another place we partially went down, and then I think we did get beignets while we were there
Oh
because
yeah.
you got to get a beignet while you're there. Yeah,
Yep.
that's you can do that.
And a hand
But
grenade.
and then not a hand grenade. No, just
I got two. I got 4 hand grenades.
didn't do that. Uh, but
So anyway,
back to the movie. So we got a storyline of the movie here. It says pivoting around the lively Truvy Jones's Louisiana beauty parlor, a tightly knit band of friends confront griefs, loss, life's unforeseen tragedies, and heartaches with what they do best: gossiping and sharing. The spirited diabetic and bride to be Shelby, her always supportive mother Emlyn, Truby's gawky assistant Annelle, the city's curmudgeon Weezer, and town's former First Lady, Clary, are the warm Southern belles who know how to survive life's challenges with their unwavering friendship. But when Shelby decides to conceive, things will turn upside down. That's pretty much your story, plot summary of the movie. I mean, the man, they were hilarious. I will say
Yeah,
this:
a
it's
hundred
like
percent, dude.
watching
And
these
Tom
people
Skerritt.
together.
Every time Tom Skerritt was on screen, dude, it's like,
Even he wasn't even trying to be funny, but
yeah.
as a guy seeing what he's doing, it's too much. It's hilarious.
I love it when Wheezy come walking, like the first interaction between him and Wheezy when she come walking up. That poor old dang Saint Bernard losing clumps of hair, boy.
He's out there shooting guns into the air to scare the birds out of the trees, and all it does is make them get riled up and go around, and they fly right back down to the tree again.
Oh,
So
Tasha did say the way he finally got him to leave looked like me and my boys.
that was pretty funny.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he took a all of his bullets were blanks. So he took a daggum crossbow and taped a whole bunch of fireworks to the crossbow and shot the arrow up into the tree, and then the fireworks went off.
right.
Got him out of there that time.
Yep, yep. That did it. They're gone for sure. Then the everything leading up to it though was just hilarious. The I'm trying to think of the word I want to use here. Um, the relationship that these people have together on screen and everything.
Oh, they were, man. It was like designing women, or Golden Girls or something. The chemistry that they had, everybody just fit together so well.
Chemistry. Thank you. That's the word I could not think of. The chemistry was so good in this movie with everybody, not just the women around each other talking and gossiping and things.
Oh,
I'm
100
talking
percent.
about when Tom Skerritt was on there. I'm talking about when their two kids were on there. Well, once the
Dylan
two kids,
McDermott.
the two boys, when they were on there.
Oh yeah. Oh, the teenagers, they were
The
phenomenal. Were they
yeah,
not great?
they
They were
were
great. Just butthole teenagers. They did their job. They knew the
right,
assignment.
right. Yeah, then so let's go over some of the people that was in this. We done brought up a couple of people. You mentioned Tom Skerritt and everything,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm gonna mention the women's name. There's 6 women in here that are all the main focus on the movie for the most part. We got Shirley MacLaine. She plays Wheezy, Wheezy Boudreaux. Olympia Dukakis plays Clary Belcher.
She is absolutely hilarious. She's dry
Oh,
funny.
she is. Sally Field plays Emlyn Eatonton. Julia Roberts is the daughter, Shelby Eatonton.
Mm-hmm.
Dolly Parton plays Truvy Jones, who has the hairdresser, the
The
whole
hair.
shop that runs around her shop and
Yeah.
everything.
The parlor.
And Daryl Hannah plays Anel
Dupuy.
DeSoto.
Dupuy.
Dupuy? Okay, Dupuy DeSoto.
Well, to begin with, it was Dupuy. That was her. That was her. That was her. Might be in trouble with the law over some drugs.
Right, right.
Does she not
Did
play? She's so great. She plays like maybe nerdy. I guess I don't know.
nerdy and timid.
Yeah, she plays that in like everything too. She does so well. Was she not the daughter of one of the guys in Grumpy Old Men too?
I can't
I
remember.
think I want to say she was, but she does great at that.
I can't remember. And then you had 3 guys on here playing parts. You had Tom Skerritt, you had Sam Shepard, and you had Dylan McDermott,
Mm-hmm.
a young Dylan McDermott.
Yeah, it was funny too. Like I said, it's been the last. I watched this with my mother when I was a kid. That's what I remember of it. So rewatching it when Dylan came, I was like, "Is that Dylan McDermott? That's Dylan McDermott." I googled it just to make sure. I was like, "That is him."
When people ask me, when they're like, do you know who Dylan McDermott is? My first thing that pops in my head is the movie Texas Rangers with James Vanderbeek.
Texas Rangers.
Yes, that's the first movie that pops into my mind when I hear Dylan McDermott.
Really? I've
Yes,
never even seen that.
there's no way you've never seen Texas Rangers.
Texas Ranger with who?
You know, when
With
it's
with the dude?
him, uh, the one that played Dawson from Dawson's Creek. It's James Vanderbeek, right?
Right, James Vanderbeek.
Then you got Usher, and you had the guy that played Kelso in that '70s show, Alan Kutcher, Alan
Uh, uh, Ashton Kutcher.
Ashton Kutcher. Thank you. The guy
What
that
was the
played
name of
The
it?
guy that played Doctor Octopus was the bad guy in it.
Texas Rangers? No, I've never seen
I
that.
tell you what, don't worry about it right now. When the podcast is over, I'm gonna bring this trailer up and show you this trailer. Then
I gotta see that.
I am very disappointed in you right now.
Yeah, I've never seen it. I can't
you
believe that.
you get me every week on something I haven't seen. You tell me how disappointed you are in me. It's my turn this week.
That's crazy too, because
Oh my
that's got some
gosh.
names in it. The only
Yes.
thing I remember the Dawson being in was the program.
No, it was Varsity Blues.
Varsity Blues. Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Well, I'll tell you more about it in a little bit when this is over with.
Uh,
That's another story another time.
well, I remember Dylan McDermott from Will and Grace because my mom was watching that all the time too.
I
No,
did
that
watch Will
wasn't
and Grace
him.
a lot.
That wasn't him. He wasn't. He was on Will and Grace one show.
He didn't play Will. He
Yeah,
didn't
he
play
didn't
any of
play
the main
Will.
characters or nothing.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no, that's the one. That's what I remember from the most. So was that.
What do I remember him from?
There's no telling.
I know his name. I knew his name and everything, and I don't remember what I remember him from.
He's been
Like,
in
how do
quite
I
a
know
few
him?
things. He's been in quite a few things.
Yeah.
But well, I'll tell you what. We'll get to him in a minute. We go down the list and we'll look at his movie list that he did.
Yeah, let's do that.
We'll do that. So back to the top of the list with the women. We got Olympia Dukakis, Shirley MacLaine. Like I said, let's start with Shirley. She got Shirley MacLaine listed first. Shirley MacLaine's a classic, I guess. She's been around for a while. She's done a lot
Yeah.
of things. Probably more movies that I don't care to watch. That she's in. It's not my type of movie, probably.
She was old Coco Chanel in the Coco Chanel movie. I remember that.
She was in Terms of Endearment as well. We mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So she could have
Yeah.
been in. She
Hey,
could have been in that one.
she was the tipsy girl in the original Ocean's 11.
Wow, was she really? How about that?
How about that?
Just the fact she's in the original Ocean's 11 is cool.
Right.
Talking about some other older movies, Two Mules for Sister Sarah.
Lord help.
There's one of the Clint Eastwood westerns.
Oh, my Microsoft is freezing up again.
Well, you're not frozen on the screen, so hopefully you don't go nowhere.
Thank God.
Travis has been having some difficulties tonight for
I've
the
been
record.
experiencing technical difficulties, sure enough.
So we're hoping he's not going to go anywhere with us. We're going to try and run through this. Cannonball Run 2, Steel Magnolias. These are the 80s. Postcards from the Edge with Meryl Streep. Defending Your Life, Wrestling Ernest Timus Way. That's into the 90s. Guarding Tess. She was in Guarding Tess. I'd forgotten about that one.
Okay.
With Mrs. Winterbourne and Joan of Arc, a few others there going to the 90s. So she played in Dora in the Bewitched movie.
Oh, really?
Yes. I didn't know that. That's something. I just happened to see that.
Cool.
So,
I don't reckon I've seen a whole lot. Like, I know her name for sure, but I don't reckon I've seen a whole lot of her movies.
That's what I'm saying.
Odd.
Me neither. I mean, I know her name, but I have never really cared for the types of movies that she's been in, so I didn't want to really watch them. I think she's one of those women that do a lot of the movies in the 80s and 90s where you might feel maybe more drama or chick flick both.
Yeah, maybe.
So a little combination of the two, possibly. Go to the next one, Olympia Dukakis. I just had a discussion with Travis earlier. I said she reminds me of somebody, and I can't picture who it is she reminds me of. But I told him I know who she reminds me of, but I know it's not her because it's a different name. But if you look up Olympia Dukakis and you look up the actress Jennifer Rhodes that played the character Grams in Charmed, the grandmother to the Charmed girls, they look like they could be twins.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely be twins. And then if you go down to the movies that Olympia Dukakis has been in, I'm going to go down to her 80s. And, well, maybe sneak a peek before the 80s to see if she's in anything big that stands out to me. Nothing that really stands out to me personally. She was in Death Wish in 74.
Right.
It just says she was uncredited though as a cop in the precinct. So it wasn't anything big for her. But going to the 80s, a TV movie about FDR, a movie called The Idol Maker, TV series like Breaking Away, American Playhouse, One of the Boys.
I would say Moonstruck and Look Who's Talking, and then
The Equalizer was a TV series. Yeah.
Yeah. I would say Moonstruck would probably be her first big one.
Well, all right, Moonstruck, Working
as far as
Girl.
we're concerned, anyway.
Right, and then she was in Working Girl. She was a personnel director. Look Who's Talking, Dad, Steel Magnolias, and
Hmm.
then that's it for the 80s. And you jump her into the 90s, Look Who's Talking 2, Over the Hill, Sinatra TV miniseries, Look Who's Talking Now, Naked Gun 33 and a Third, I Love Trouble, Mr. Holland's Opus.
She worked non-stop all the way up to 2021.
Yeah,
Been in tons of stuff. Another one of those names that like you know it though, like just know her name based off of her fame, you know.
right. And you may or may not be familiar with her work because, once again, it may be stuff that you're not interested in. Now,
Hmm.
I've seen quite a few things with her in it, just didn't realize it. And that's where I've known her from, I guess.
Hmm.
Because I'm looking at here like the Look Who's Talking to, the Naked Gun 33 and the Third, and I Love Trouble, and some of these things like that I have seen. So I mean, I would have seen her in those. It just
Right.
did not stand out to me.
Yeah.
Sally Field. I mean, what can you say about Sally
Mhm.
Field? First thing I think of her, I think of Smoking the Bandit.
Yep. I was
The
proud of my wife. The first thing she thought of when she seen her on TV, she said, "Oh, it's the flying nun." I was like, "You know what? That impresses me. I'm happy that you didn't say Forest Mama."
Flying Nun for sure. Wasn't she also Gidget?
uh,
Or
maybe
am
in
I,
a remake.
or am I thinking of somebody else? I was thinking she's. I thought
Gidget
she was
was in
there.
that Funicello originally.
Was it really?
I'm pretty sure.
I did not know. For some reason, I thought she was Gidget. I don't know. When was
She could have
Gidget?
been. There were a few Gidget movies. She could have played Gidget. I'm not going to say she didn't. She was Gidget, yes, in the TV series.
Yeah, the TV series Gidget. There you
Yeah, I
go.
was thinking of the movie.
65, 66, 32 episodes.
Hmm.
So that's the first thing I'd seen those on Nick at Night. I never really watched The Flying Nun though.
I
But if
didn't either. I mean, if and my wife's a year younger than I, so she'd have had to seen it on reruns or at her grandma's house or something. But definitely the first thing I remember her from would be Smokey and the Bandit,
Yep,
and then
Smoking
I
the
seen her
Bandit.
in Hooper and fell in love with her in Hooper.
Then there was Norma Ray, which got her. I think they got her an award, didn't it?
Was it Norma Ray or was it Sybil? Sybil got
Yeah,
an
it may have been Sybil.
Sybil got an award too. That's what it hurts me that I say around here in South Carolina that it's Weather by Sybil, and
Yeah,
nobody gets it. For those of you that don't know, Sybil was a schizophrenic. She suffered from multiple personality disorder, which they
I've
don't
never
even
seen.
call it that now.
I've never seen it. It's a TV miniseries from 1976. Two
Yeah,
episodes.
that's really really good though. She did
Uh,
she did amazing in it.
when you get beyond the 70s, there with Norma Ray in 79, starting in the 80s, she was Smoking the Bandit 2, which probably could have been done without, honestly. Smoking the Bandit, the original, should have been left alone, and not gone any further with. Part 2 wasn't that great, and 3 was just
Mm-hmm.
stupid. But
Mm-hmm.
Back Roads, Absence of Malice, All the Way Home, Kiss Me Goodbye, Places in the Heart, Murphy's Romance, Surrender, Punchline, where she was a stand-up comic with Tom Hanks.
Yo,
Still Magnolias in '89 that wrapped up her '80s,
yo. And
and
then
then
in
you,
1993, she had crabs like the ocean diddy.
yeah, she did. She was nearby the drive-by fruiting.
Nearby. Oh, it was a drive-by fruiting.
So yeah, she had a soap dish, Homeward Bound in the '90s, Mrs.
She was
Doubtfire, which you
Sassy the
just
cat
said,
in
Forrest
Homeward Bound.
Gump, yep, Forrest Gump, An Eye for an Eye, Homeward Bound 2,
Hmm.
um, man, some TV series stuff at that point she was a
She
part
was the
of.
congresswoman in the Legally Blonde movie.
Legally Blonde 2, Red, White, and Blonde.
Then don't forget she was Aunt May.
I was gonna say Amazing Spider-Man. She was Aunt May in Amazing Spider-Man. So it's like she's big. She's gone for a while. She's back big again. She's gone for a while. She's back and she's noted again of who she is. Like, oh hey, there's Sally Field again. Yeah,
Hmm.
this is been her career. Most recent thing was 80 for Brady. She did in 2023.
That was actually a funny movie.
So I remember you telling me you saw that. You took your mom to watch it, right?
No,
I thought you did.
no, I had gotten recommended to me by my mom and one of her friends.
Okay, okay. I knew your mom had something to do with it in the story you told me though.
Yeah, I think so.
man.
Oh,
Um,
classic, timeless Sally Field.
and then we got Julia Roberts next in line. Now,
Hmm.
Julia Roberts is probably the one that I'm the most familiar with.
Yeah.
A lot of people do not like Julia Roberts. You know,
Why?
I mean, they don't like how she looks. They don't like how she acts. I mean, personally, I think her acting is just fine. I've always thought she was pretty. She's not an ugly person by any means at all.
She's a superb actress, I think, honestly.
She is. She is.
I
She
just
has a
don't like I don't think she's ugly. I just think she looks like she smells like bologna.
what is that from? Why does
I
she smell like bologna? Why
I
does she
don't
look like
know.
she smells like bologna?
I don't know. She just does.
I mean, you got to get this from somewhere. She has a brother who acts, Eric Roberts. He's always the bad guy in a lot of things, except for Best the Best, where he played a good guy.
Yeah. He looks like he smells like pepperoni.
I,
I just made that up. I'm
I'm
sorry.
not even going to ask you again.
No,
I'm not
I dig
even,
her. I like her at Roberts. Eric Roberts is cool.
but so to go to what things that she's been in, I believe her debut movie was Mystic Pizza, wasn't it? Debut movie. She had some bits and
Mm,
pieces, or maybe it was Satisfaction. Yeah,
maybe.
I'm looking here. Satisfaction was an '88, but then again, Mystic Pizza was an '88 as well.
I think you're
So
right. Mystic Pizza is the one that everybody comes up with when they talk about her first movie.
yeah, she's had bits, an uncredited bit in something called Firehouse. She was in a TV series called Crime Story for one episode. Then we had Satisfaction. We have a TV movie called Baja, Oklahoma, and Miami Vice, the series, one episode. Mystic Pizza in '88, Blood Red in '89. 89 Steel Magnolias, and then 1990 is when it took off for her.
Pretty
I
Woman.
mean, she started in 1990 and she didn't quit. Or maybe we can say in '89 it started for her with
It's for
Steel
Sage.
Magnolias,
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
because it was
And
a big movie for her.
I'll tell you what too though, her acting is still in this movie, Still Magnolias, I thought was just off the charts. Having a friend that's type one diabetic, you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
she did really, really good. I'm just personally not a fan of the Pretty Woman movie at all. I'm just not a fan.
So let me ask
But
you about the whole part about.
Flatliners was awesome. Sleeping with the Enemy, awesome. Pelican Brief. What was the one she played? The lawyer that with the water. Oh man, Erin Brockovich.
Aaron Brockovich, yeah.
Not a lawyer, she's a reporter or something.
She did Dying Young. She did Hook.
Oh yeah, Dying Young, yeah. Conspiracy theory.
And,
I mean, you name it.
and once again, don't forget Hook. I know you like that one.
I do love Hook. Rufio.
Something to talk about. She had a bit part in one episode in the movie and the TV show Friends.
Yeah. The
That was a
Runaway
fun,
Bride was
that was a fun
hilarious.
episode. Runaway Bride was great. My best friend's wedding.
Mm-hmm. Ocean's
Stepmom.
11.
Um,
Ocean's 11 and
Ocean's
12 and
11.
13 and 14 and 15 and
I don't think they went that far.
ever
Pretty
how
sure
many
they
they
didn't.
did.
She's in Mona Lisa Smile. Um, Duplicity. Eat, Pray, Love. Love, Wedding, Marriage.
Yeah.
I mean, she's been in a ton of stuff, but I mean, to go back to her earlier stuff, just a question about this. But first off, the question about this movie with her. You mentioned about her acting was spot on. You know, you got a friend that's big, that's diabetic and everything.
Uh-huh.
I'm watching it earlier in the movie, and it looks like they're at the beauty salon, and something's happening to her. It looks like it almost looks like she's having a seizure or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
So,
sugar dropped. I mean, she went into a seizure.
so she
A lot
was
of
having a
times,
seizure.
a lot of times
Okay.
people just pass out though.
So, but why was she fighting? Okay, maybe because it was the seizure. I was watching this. I was like, if she's diabetic, the way what I took from it was she was diabetic and her sugar dropped because they were wanting to get a candy bar and juice and stuff in her. And the orange juice was the easiest thing to get in her. And she would spit it right back out. She didn't want nothing to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't realize she was having, for sure, that she was having a seizure. So I guess that could have been the seizure she was going through, causing her to maybe spit that back out or not want to
Causing
take
her
it.
to
Or
act that way. Yeah, because I've seen people like, man, I've seen, dude, I've seen sugar drop people get superhuman strength. I've seen them damn just get mad and ill at the world, be buttholes, um, lay down and go to sleep, and you have to check on them, and then they don't wake up. And you got to call the ambulance out. But it's like I've seen a lot of These sugar drops, man, it's weird. It does a lot of it does a lot of people a lot different too. And then you have the same person. They don't react the same every time when it happens too. So,
Do you have a favorite movie she was in?
oh, dude, that's a good question,
I
man.
mean, obviously this movie is Steel Magnolias aside. That's what we're talking about this week. But when it comes to
Yeah,
Julia Roberts, I mean, I didn't ask you about the same question about the rest of them.
dude, that's
But
a hard
Julia
one, honestly.
Julia Roberts is one we're very familiar with in
Yeah,
our age and everything. So
I really like the Pelican Brief, and I like the Aaron Brock. I like her courthouse movies. Aaron
it's really
Brockovich and the Pelican Briefs. I really
yeah,
like those a lot.
it's really hard to pick one
Yeah,
because I loved Sleeping with the Enemy.
yeah, that was a good one too.
I loved Flatliners.
Flatliners was awesome.
I like Hook.
Hmm.
And just to mention others you didn't mention in yours, I love Trouble with Nick Nolte.
Yeah,
She was the reporter. That was good. I loved it. So I mean, there's so many to choose from early on, and then the Runaway Bride was good with Richard Gere. The one they had their little reunion together for another movie. That was
yeah.
pretty. That was good. I don't have anything against Pretty Woman. I thought the movie was good overall, but I mean, it's not exactly my most favorite of hers.
No, not at all.
It's not even my
And I
top.
tell
It's
you,
not even
that's
my top five of hers. Not even
yeah.
top five.
I was gonna say that's the thing about her too. Like, really, I mean, when you think about it, she really don't do bad movies. Like, she's just good in everything. That's
Yeah.
like take Kevin Costner for example. I can't stand Kevin Costner. I don't know what it is about Kevin Costner. I just don't like Kevin Costner. But I
But
can't
he's
tell
got a
you.
lot of great movies, though.
I was gonna say I can't tell you a movie he's been in that I don't like.
I
I
mean, he
like
did
every single movie that I've ever seen him in.
right. I mean, Dances with Wolves, the
Yeah.
Water World.
You know who? You know what though? I almost started liking Kevin Costner. You know
Oh,
what? I might think I do, but not young Kevin Costner. I like old Kevin Costner. You know what made me like him?
Yellowstone.
No. Oh,
Okay.
absolutely not. That made me hate him again.
Oh, really? I love Yellowstone.
Yeah,
What
not
is it you don't like about him? Or what is it you like about him? Or that made you
wait.
like him again?
Clark Kent's daddy, Jonathan Kent, in the
Oh, yeah.
daggum in the Superman remake, when it made him
Yeah.
stop and not go get him in the hurricane or the tornado.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
Well,
I
next
don't
in line.
understand why everybody hates on Waterworld. I'm sorry. We'll talk about
Oh,
Kevin Costner another time.
no, Water World was a good movie, though.
I love Waterworld.
Yeah, it was. People, I think it's just people's attention. It was one of those movies where it was slow developing, and people got short attention spans, and
Yeah,
put those together, it didn't work out very well.
yeah, we can do that. We can talk about him another time, though. Now we have to go on to one of the people that starred
Well,
in one of Chris's favorite movies of all time. And that's Dolly Parton in a little movie she did with Sylvester Stallone called Rhinestone.
we haven't worked Rhinestone in quite a while, have we? Okay,
I've
it's
been
just
waiting
so
on it.
funny that you do this because when Tim came on, we talked about Louis Gossett Jr. I think it was. I think we mentioned um Rhinestone at one point. Like this was his Rhinestone movie, or
Oh no.
maybe it was a different one, and I had to explain what Rhinestone was. But yeah, Dolly Parton. I love Dolly Parton. There's nothing. She's hilarious. She
Heck
is so
yeah.
funny. I mean, not only does she play funny characters in movies, she can tell she can tell the best stories,
Oh yeah.
the best stories ever. Did you see her tell Jimmy Fallon the story when she was on his show about her hometown there in Sevierville?
Mm-hmm.
One of the local general stores there, they had a bear there in a cage that they would let people, throw treats to and feed.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that?
I don't think
Hey,
so.
she said that they would do that, and then someone made the mistake one time of handing a Coca Cola in there to him, and he actually he tried to drink the Coca Cola, but inside the Coca Cola they found out wasn't Coke. It was a can, but it had just gas in it. She said some dumb redneck up there had put gas in a Coke can and put it through there, and that bear drank the gas and
Oh my god.
started going crazy. Crazy. She said people are stupid. The crowd was like, "Oh." And she goes, "Right?" She goes, "Right. People are just stupid." So the bear breaks out of the cage and takes off running down the road. And it gets like a quarter mile down the road, and it stopped and just fell over. Jimmy Fallon's like,
He ran out of gas.
yeah. Jimmy Fallon's like, oh my God, what happened? Is he all right? She goes, yeah, it was just fine. He just ran out of gas. And he just looks at her with this amazed look on his face, like he just took it hook, line, and sinker.
Right.
You know, he couldn't believe he'd fallen for it. She tells the best stuff like that, though. It's funny
She
as can be.
is a national treasure. I'm telling you.
Yes. Yeah. Now that is somebody I would really love to get on here to talk to.
Oh,
That
I
would be,
would. Yeah.
that would be really cool. It's not going to happen, but it would be super cool. Some of her stuff she's known for, she's been in. Now it's not like she's done a lot of movies. She's more music and more specials and things like that, right?
Queen of music.
But
They gave the queen of country music to Reba, and finally gave Dolly her due, and said she's just the queen of music. Period.
so, like you mentioned earlier, Rhinestone.
Yeah.
One of these
I
days,
got
we're gonna
upset.
do that movie. One of these days, just get it
I
out of the
love it.
way.
I'm ready for it. I was upset when I was a youngin' because I was going to watch the best little whorehouse in Texas. I thought I was going to get to see me something.
Did you see
Let all y'all know the best little whorehouse in Texas is not anything like what the name connotates.
Did you see? There's this comedian on Facebook that puts stuff out, and he says he just saw that movie, and he goes, "Wow, did you see Dolly? Did you see Dolly?" And then look at this picture of Dolly from that movie. And he pulls this picture up of her, and she's in some kind of like lingerie or something like that. He
Yeah.
goes, "If Dolly looked like that, I gotta know what Jolene looked like."
I know, right? For real.
Oh my gosh! 9 to 5, loved it.
Mm-hmm.
How could you not like 9 to 5? I mean,
Yep.
really.
Straight
Um,
talk was funny.
Straight Talk was funny. Yes, little one-liners and stories her father, which she would always quote her father on and everything.
You know what?
Um,
Oddly enough, I just watched The Unlikely Angel at the around the end of last year.
did you really?
I did.
Huh.
It,
I've
it
never
was
seen it before.
It's an 80s Hallmark movie or 90s Hallmark
Well,
movie.
have you seen a Smoky Mountain Christmas? It's like an '80s type.
Actually, yes.
Yeah, it's another one of those type movies, but it's from the '80s, so you
Yeah,
get that one.
a Smoky Mountain Christmas. I've seen it 2 or 3 times. I think it's better than Unlikely Angel.
Yeah,
But Unlikely Angels, it's just that cheesy comedy, you know?
yeah.
It's not terrible. It's Dolly. If you put Dolly in it, I mean, you can't hate Dolly.
It's awfully hard to do. So a lot of great stuff out of her. Um, Moving on along, we got Daryl Hannah. And the biggest thing I'm not going to pull up her entire thing here just because of the way the time is running and everything. But the
Splash.
biggest thing from her is Splash. That's all you got to know about. Just know about Splash. I
Splash.
think Splash, Legal Eagles, and one other from that time frame. Other than Steel Magnolias, she was all pretty big in those.
Yeah, when
But
she come
Splash is the
walking out of
biggest
the
thing.
water and splash.
That's a highlight of her '80s career right there. I think.
Yeah.
And when you mention Daryl Hannah, the only movie that comes to mind from people is Splash. They think of Splash first and foremost.
Yeah, because we saw that booty walking up out of that water.
She had to do her duty. She showed her
Yeah.
booty.
She was in she was in Roxanne and she was the daughter. She was Melanie in Grumpy Old Men and Grumpier Old Men.
Was she okay?
Mm-hmm. And also the remake of Attack of the 50-Foot Woman. She was Nancy Archer in that, and she was Miss Crabtree in The Little Rascals,
Well, there you go.
and a
Now
whole bunch of other stuff.
I've been
She
waiting
was
for this.
what? I didn't know that she played Morticia Adams in the Adams Family Reunion TV movie in 1998.
I didn't either, but I could see it though. The hair dyed black. I could see that.
Yeah, pretty
Definitely
good.
could. Well, moving to one of the people we've been, I'm sure between the two of us, we're definitely waiting for here, Mr. Drum Eatonton, Tom Skerritt.
Yeah.
You want to go ahead and tell your favorite part of the movie with Tom Skerritt?
Oh yeah, that's
I
when
know you. I know you're dying to.
I love it. Yeah, because so him and Wheezy hate each other, and they done been going back and forth, back and forth. Well, it's funny they were talking about in the salon. They were talking about Maylin and Shelby. The only thing they agreed on was the groom's cake. It's a bleeding armadillo cake. So when you cut into it, it's an armadillo, but when you cut into it, it bleeds too. Well, the wedding's going on and all, and And old Drum walks up to Wheezy. He's like, "Can I get a piece of cake, Wheezy?" And like, he looks away, and she cuts the tail off of it and slaps it on his plate and gives him an evil look. He looks down at it, looks up at her. He said, "Thank you. Nothing like a good piece of ass."
And it just made her that much more mad, did
It
it not?
did. Oh, him and Wheezy was probably some of my favorite part of that movie, man.
Yeah.
They were hilarious together. I
Yeah.
love when
One.
Wheezy goes when who some guy that she dated back in the day come in to town, and Shelby was trying to get her to talk to him or something, and she's I don't remember what it was they were saying. She's like, "Oh, please, the only reason people are nice to me is because I got more money than God."
She didn't ruin two perfectly good men, made him the most evil one in the world. She divorced.
Yeah. Oh, them
Oh my
women are
gosh.
hilarious. It's like everything that comes out of their mouths almost is just funny.
Seeing that, what would have been the only thing that would have been funnier was if them two were the married couple.
Oh
Say
yeah,
he
him and Wheezy.
say he wasn't so the character he played wasn't the husband to Sally Field and daughter to Julia. I mean, father to Julia Roberts. Say his character had been somebody who's married to Wheezy, and she wasn't single like she was, and that was their personalities back and forth with each other. That would have been good.
Yeah.
Uh, what's the first movie you remember Tom Skerritt from?
Oh, that's easy, man. Hey, don't look at his face, man. Don't look at what? I wasn't looking at his face, man. Strawberry, dude. Up in Smoke.
Up in
Close,
Smoke.
close second. That's a close second to Viper, though, because I don't know which one of those. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I was a kid, so I don't know if I saw Top Gun or if I saw Up in Smoke first. Whichever one. I knew those were the same guy, though. I didn't know his name back then, but I knew those were the same guy.
He was in a ton of TV series,
Yeah.
a ton of them, playing different roles here and there. I mean, especially a lot of the old Western ones,
Mm-hmm.
a ton of those. In the 70s, you'd see him doing stuff like, gosh, his Big Bad Mama, Ken in the TV series, Barnaby Jones, a movie called The Devil's Reign, the SWAT TV series. You get to the 80s, closer to the 80s, you've got the Beretta TV series. Up in Smokes in 78, 1978. But then right after
Yeah.
that, in 79, you got him in Alien. So the
Really?
original, yeah, he was an alien, played Dallas in Alien.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And then
See,
in
I had to think about that right now, and I've seen Alien 20
yeah,
times.
Alien's the first thing I seen. I mean, I didn't see Up in Smoke when I was younger. I saw Alien,
Mm-hmm.
but as far as being the first things I'd seen him in, first things I'd seen him in were more TV shows than anything. But Alien, I seen him in that. Then there was also in the 80s, you got like the Dead Zone. Um,
Mm-hmm.
got what Top Gun, obviously Space Camp, Parent Trap 2, Twilight Zone TV series. He was in that. Then of course you get up there to our
Made
movie
the
we're
old.
doing today.
He was Evan Drake on Cheers. I went back and started watching
It
Cheers
was.
again.
Yes.
Cheers, I think Cheers may be. I think Cheers may actually be the best TV sitcom, comedy sitcom. I think it might be my number one.
Yeah, he was only on 6 episodes of Cheers, but he made a
Yeah.
like a no like a good lasting character though that people
Yeah,
remember.
wasn't he dating uh Diane?
Diane, yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of good stuff from him. Now, just to jump back to the older TV series real quick, just so I can just throw a few of them out. I mentioned they're old westerns, a lot of them. I'm talking
Hmm.
Gunsmoke, Bonanza. He was on those. And Gunsmoke was a pretty big one, running for a really long time.
Right.
So
I'll tell you another one. Another movie he was in too. If y'all hadn't seen, go watch it. He played Reverend McLean in A River Runs Through It. Super
yes,
awesome movie. Wasn't
right.
that was an early come on, heartthrob dude.
Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Yep.
That was an early Brad Pitt movie. As two
Now,
brothers going whitewater, going canoeing down the Whitewater River or something. Been a long
something
time
like
since I
that.
saw it.
Now, he was in Poltergeist 3 as well.
Yeah.
But Top Gun is probably my favorite thing. You know, he played what, Viper in Top Gun?
Yeah, Viper.
Did Viper show back up again in the newest movie, Maverick?
You know, I don't recall. I really would have to go back and watch it again.
Yeah, I don't.
Um, it's not. I'm not seeing a credit for him.
It's
I
possible he
don't.
did.
I really don't recall.
It's possible they didn't bring that character back then.
Robert Redford. That's who it was. It was yeah. But was Robert Redford the older brother? No, it was Craig Schaefer. Yeah, it was
And
Norman
River.
and Paul McLean going down the river. I'm still on a river runs through it. I'm sorry. I went off
Oh,
on
okay.
my bad.
I'm like, what were you talking about? Sam Shepard, next one. Now, Sam Shepard passed away in 2017, so he hasn't done anything since then. But
Well, he wasn't on none of the he wasn't on none of the Epstein flights or nothing, was he?
I don't know. It doesn't say.
Okay. Well, rest
I
in
don't
peace
know
if he wasn't.
if he was.
If he was,
Pieces.
yeah, if he was, then yeah, whatever.
Black Hawk Down. He was in Black Hawk Down.
Yup.
As far as what you remember this guy from, let's see. We've got 80s. Let me get to his 80s flicks here. We've got Resurrection, Raggedy Man, Francis, The Right Stuff, Country, Fool for Love, Crimes of the Heart, Baby Boom, Steel
I don't remember none
Magnolias.
of that. I remember Thunderheart and the Pelican
Yeah,
Brief.
that's what I was going to tell you. I know none of those movies from the 80s he did except for Steel Magnolias. Now, if you go into the 90s, I see Thunderheart, Pelican Brief. I know them. Um, I've
Streets
heard
of
of.
Laredo. That's a
I've,
lonesome dove.
I was gonna say
Uh,
I've heard Streets of Laredo.
yeah, that's another lonesome dove offshoot.
Yeah, he doesn't sound like now. He was in Swordfish, played the role of a senator in Swordfish,
Good
but
movie.
in Black Hawk Down. But I can honestly say I wouldn't know him in a lot of stuff.
Nope,
Um,
I wouldn't recognize
2005
him.
he was 2005 he was in Stealth. I think that's the movie with Jamie Foxx and Jessica Biel. Not Jessica Biel. Yeah, is it Jessica Biel?
Mm-hmm.
Was that her name?
Same one
She-
from Seventh Heaven.
yeah.
Yeah, that's her.
Okay. Yeah, he was in that. Played Captain George Cummings. But he's one of those people I can say where I know the name, and I used to get his name confused with other people. Sam Shepard. I used to get him and Sam. I would say instead of saying Sam Elliott, I would say Sam Shepard.
Yeah,
Two
kind of like
completely
Michael
different people.
Dukakis. Kind of like Michael Dukakis and Michael Dudikoff.
Only
Or
in your mind.
Olympia Dudikoff. She might be related to him.
You just said Olympia Dudikoff. I'm kicking you off this show. I gotta find me somebody else here. I can't do this anymore. We're taking applications. We are taking applications just so everybody knows.
Yep.
We're gonna
She's
go
got
ahead and cut off.
Olympia Dudikoff and Michael Dukakis.
We're gonna go ahead and cut off from where we're talking about people at this point. We're pretty much covered them all anyway. We talked about Dylan McDermott early on anyway, I believe. So
Yeah.
is there anything about this movie that stands out to you that was your favorite part? You know, do you have a favorite scene from the movie?
Golly bomb. I don't know. Yeah. I guess it's the same one I talk about all the time. I don't know. After rewatching it, I don't know, man. There was a lot of good stuff going on. Yeah, no, I'm stick with it, man. I loved it. I loved the wedding, the opening scene, the whole opening 15 minutes of the movie is my favorite.
There is a scene in the movie which I'm not going to go in depth on because I don't want to, ruin anything for anybody, anything like that. But there is a scene where they're visiting a cemetery.
Yes.
And that entire scene was taken in one shot, which is amazing.
Right.
If you see if you don't know what I'm talking about, I don't want to give away this part, so you go watch it and see for yourself. And when you see it, you will say to yourself as well, with the type of emotions that went through in like a whole minute, that's like an amazing job of acting to get that in one take for sure. Um, Dolly Parton said after a poor take, director Herbert Ross reprimanded her and asked her if she could even act. And she said, "No, but it's your job to make me look like I can."
There you go.
Sounds
I think
exactly like what you say.
my favorite thing that she has ever said is it costs a lot of money to look this cheap.
Yeah. Oh my God. All right. Sally Field and Shirley MacLaine said in an interview that director Herbert Ross was very difficult to work with, telling the main lead actresses they couldn't act and singling out Julia Roberts in particular to the point that she would be left in tears.
Wow.
We don't like Herbert Ross anymore. Not that we liked him to begin with, but we don't like him.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah. Why would we like that guy?
I don't know of many particular trivia things, but this that would be great. I know that Meg Ryan was initially under contract to play the role of Shelby, which is what Julia Roberts played.
Yeah, she left to go film When Harry Met Sally.
Yeah, they let her out for that. Um, let's see here. Shot in the small Louisiana town of Natchitoches. Is that how it is?
Maybe.
That's what it looks like it says.
Nachitosis. Good old
Crazy.
nachitosis.
Um, well, I mean, I'm not going to just sit here and hold the show up while I look for things to read off and everything. Just
No, we don't need to do that. It's Mother's Day. We got to go spend time with our mommies.
That's right. That's right. By the time this is on, Mother's Day won't get here when this first debuts, but Mother's Day is coming up soon. This is on Thursday. Mother's Day is right upon you, everybody. You got Friday, Saturday, and boom, there's Mother's Day on Sunday. Now, there's also a national holiday the day before Mother's Day on the 11th. I want you to know, everybody who listens to this show, it's a national holiday. You all have the day off on behalf of me. You're welcome.
Hey,
51 years old that day, unfortunately.
51 years old.
One more year I got to add on to me. Well, that should be fortunately, not unfortunately, because I mean, hey, every day's a blessing. So,
Heck yeah.
um, as far as
Me
myself and
too.
a favorite part of that movie, favorite scene from the
Yeah,
movie,
what's your favorite scene, Chris?
man, being this is my one and only time I've seen it, it doesn't, nothing really stands out to me as a favorite scene.
Yeah.
It's just that like I mentioned earlier, what I just thought it was an all around good movie because of the chemistry involved. My favorite thing about the movie is the chemistry between the actresses
Yeah.
because they made it feel like they've known each other forever, and it's an everyday business for
Yeah, it
them.
feels like a small town. Like it feels like it feels almost like a reality show.
Yeah, that would be mine. That would be the way I would look at it as far as my favorite thing. And I'm not going to go over my least favorite thing. We're not going to do that one on this episode, but we will say, hey, if you have not seen this, if you're guilty as I am and you have not watched it yet, Cindy, yes, I'm calling you out as I talked to you earlier and you haven't watched it yet either. Make sure y'all watch it and let us know what you think about it. Send us a email, retrolifeforyou@gmail.com, or hit us up on the social medias and tell us what you liked about Steel Magnolias, or maybe what you even didn't like. Since it's on social medias, I can't really say anything there. But if you're worried about a spoiler, don't read that post till you watch it.
Heck yeah.
Um, so Travis, I'm going to get ready to wrap us up out of here. If you're not following the show yet, shame on you. Make sure you follow the show.
Yeah.
We're found everywhere that you find your podcast at, mainly
We're
Spotify and
bad,
iTunes.
bad, 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 bad. We're nationwide.
What he said. What he said. You can watch us. I'm sorry. You can listen to us on www.retrolife, the number 4, the letter u.com.
Mm-hmm.
And I am slowly but surely working on it. I get a couple episodes at least a week. I'm trying to get more and more uploaded to YouTube, where you can see the actual videos of us recording this and make fun of how we look and everything there.
Oh yeah.
Pretty soon, once I have this done, the website where we host at has it where we can add a link to the show on YouTube, and you can either watch us or listen to us from that same website.
Yeah.
So if you want to see this episode in particular and see Travis without his shirt on, as gruesome as it is,
I was just thinking about Fat Bastard. Oh, look at my tetes! Like that's why I busted out laughing.
Get in his belly.
Get in my belly. Maybe that wouldn't have been. This might not be the best one for Mother's Day. Lord help.
Maybe it'd been better if you just put a shirt on for Mother's Day. Maybe that would have been good.
That would have been good.
That could have worked out better for you.
Might have.
Oh my God. All right. Well, is there anything you'll leave us with this week?
Yeah, a couple things. I if you ever heard of a job, this is appreciations. This is mother appreciation. Have you ever heard of a job that requires no experience, gives no training, pays nothing, and you can't quit? That's motherhood. Oh, and people's lives are on the line too. And then I got this one. Motherhood is like a fairy tale, but in reverse. You start out in a beautiful ball gown and end up in stained rags cleaning up after little people. We love you, mamas, and out there, every one of you.
Yeah, happy Mother's
Keep
Day to
fighting
all.
the good fight.
Happy Mother's Day to all the great mothers out there, and this has been a fun one. So we'll catch you guys in the next episode.